Good morning, I'm Jeff. I'm a sewer tech Northwest. Today we're at property address 2030 North Skidmore Court here in Portland. We're located on the rooftop. We've got a 4-inch, this is an ABS vent. It should connect right into the cast iron stack. I'm going to insert the camera and check the overall condition and serviceability of the sanitary sewer line. Currently have water running. Now this vent may not work. We'll see. Once I get to the bottom of it though, I'm going to zero out the camera counter and I will refer to the base of the vent as the point of access. Take a second look on the way back without the water in there. So far, none of the roots are blocking the sewer line, but worse and worse. But so far, the slope and grade of the line is quite good. This is a line where you might be able to do a liner or a sleeve versus excavation. Okay, it transitions here at 51 feet over to PVC, schedule 3034 PVC. And that concrete section there, I think when it's all drained out, there's going to be a very little amount of standing water there. There is some, I can tell, but it doesn't look to be terribly significant. And my camera's not wanting to round this last turn here, but I can see the main lateral connection just ahead of the camera, only about a foot ahead. So here at 70 feet is where we hit the main lateral. I'm going to go ahead and get the line drained out here so we have a better look at that concrete section. It looks like the city side of the line has been updated to plastic pipe. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and map the concrete line out. I'm going to start right here at the transition to PVC pipe and work my way back to the cast iron transition. I do recommend sleeving the concrete section of the pipe, or at least replacing it. Sleeving is probably going to be cheaper, or lining it, so it doesn't require any digging. I will map it out using white paint. I'll mention the depth and location of the markings here in a moment, but I recommend the sleeve to update the concrete section. It's in rough shape, and we've got root intrusion coming through like 3 or 4 different joints that I was able to count on the way out. We'll get a better picture on the way back here. Alrighty, located right here, we're right at the street curb, marked with a white X right on top of the curb. It's only about 5 feet deep here. But you can see that the root intrusion goes all the way out to the street curb right here. It's all the way to the end, so we've got root intrusion throughout the line. So in this situation, and you can see there is some standing water left over, but that's really not affecting the flow all that much. It's a very minimal amount of standing water. In this circumstance, I think you'd be better off to do a sleeve or a liner because of the cost savings. Digging down to it will allow you to correct that grade and get it perfect, but the amount of standing water doesn't really affect the line anyway. So if it saves you $3,000 in repair and you end up with a 1/4 inch of standing water, in my opinion, that's a better option than to dig up a giant trench in the front yard and spend way more money. Okay, I'm going to do another marking right here at 35 feet. I'll just do a line or some dots to show the direction the pipe's running, and then I'll do one more marking once we hit the cast iron transition. Right now, the end of the repair is marked with an X. I'll do some lines in between to show the direction the pipe runs, and then I'll mark the beginning of the repair with a T to indicate the cast iron to concrete transition, and that's where to start the repair. Okay, we're right now right in the middle of the sidewalk area. Just did a white arrow there. And I'm getting a depth of around 6 feet. There are some overhead power lines that could be thrown off the locator a little bit, but I'm getting a depth of right around 5-6 feet. And we have root intrusion from the very beginning of the concrete all the way to the end of it. So because it's throughout the concrete, there's absolutely no reason to try and do spot repairs. Just the whole section needs to be updated here from 22 feet out to 51 feet. And as far as I'm concerned, it drains well still. The roots haven't blocked the line yet, but they are continually destroying the line as they grow and tearing the concrete apart. The line is functioning at this time. But I would recommend getting the line sleeved or repaired in the near future, within the next 1, 2, 3 years at the most. But the line is functioning. That may change if those roots grow and get larger, but right now the way it sits, even with the roots in there, the line is still functioning quite well because they're not big root balls blocking the flow line. I'm going to go do one more marking right here. Okay, located right here. Marked with a green T about 6 feet or so in front of the house in the front grass in the yard, and right around 10 feet deep. The front yard does rise up a few feet, which explains the depth change, starting out deeper than it is at the end. So, and again, I recommend doing a full sleeve or replacement of the concrete section of the line from 22 feet there out to 51 feet where it transitions to PVC pipe. And that would essentially fully update the line. The cast iron pipe is great and it holds up for a long time, so no reason to change that pipe out. Now I'm about to pull the camera out of the line. We do have adequate flow all the way to the main lateral. The line is functioning at this time, but again, I want to reiterate that concrete section does need to be repaired or replaced in the near future so it doesn't end up affecting the line due to the roots growing larger and continually breaking the pipe apart as they grow. And the way the line sits right now, you could do a hydrojet, but the roots are so minimal that you wouldn't necessarily need to do that right this moment. But that will buy you some time. That plus some root killing foam will keep them from growing too quickly.